going to go ahead and hit record. So tonight's call actually is inspired by a call or a training that was at Summit 2 years ago. I wasn't at Summit 2 years ago, but I was home. I had, I think he was 4 or 5 months old. My son was 5 months old, and I was still nursing, and Summit was in Vegas that year. And I was just like, I just couldn't bring a 5-month-old baby to Vegas. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. So I ended up staying home, but I was avidly watching every single training that they put on YouTube from Summit. And this one just stood out to me so much because, it was basically the title that I named this call is the title of their training. And it was Hobby Coach versus a Career Coach. What is the difference and which one are you? And I was so hungry for that because I knew I wanted this to be a career for me. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, am I doing what I should be doing? Am I actually taking the steps that am I on the right path? Are my actions lining up with what my goals are? Because I was willing to be patient. I knew it wasn't going to happen overnight. I was willing to learn and to grow, and I knew that I needed to get skills, and that takes time, but I at least wanted to know that after that amount of time, I would be at my destination. I wanted to know I was on the right track. So that's my heart for this call, is to make sure that you have a clear understanding of, if you want to go in this direction, these are the steps you need to take. And if you want to go in that direction, these are the steps that you need to take, so that nobody's getting 3, 4, 5 months down the road and feeling like, I don't think I'm going in the right direction. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And it will be one of those calls that's a little bit tough love, in the sense that, all of us, myself included, when I was brushing up on this training, we have to take a good hard look at our actions. Actions determine our direction and where we go. And if our actions are not lining up, then it's a good thing to get that readjustment, to say, okay, hold on, I need to fix some things. Better to know that sooner rather than later. So hope you guys are ready. I do have some slides, but they are like the ugliest, most boring slides ever because I didn't have a whole lot of time. So you'll just have to bear with me and my terrible slides. So hobby versus business, what kind of coach are you? Here's the thing. I firmly believe, you guys know this, I've said it a million times, in a life by design. So Fernando and I have always taken stock of our life, looked at what's going on, and talked about what we love, what's good about our lives, and what we don't love, what's not that great about our lives. And we've always workshopped and talked through and brainstormed, how do we fix those things that are not great about our lives? And in fact, that's kind of where coaching came out of for us. We had been talking for a while about our financial goals and just hitting up against the fact that there is no extra money to build towards those goals. And so already in the back of our minds, we were looking for additional income source. We knew what was not working, and we were looking for a way to fix that. So if you choose that this is something that you want as a hobby, that you love the community, that you love being able to help a few people here and there, but it's just not a priority to be a career for you right now, that's totally fine. Like, that's the beauty of this business, and that's the beauty of, there are no quotas. You're not going to get kicked out of the club if you don't hit Success Club. You are not second class. You're not treated differently in the sense of like, I won't answer your messages or anything like that. But it should be your choice. I don't want anyone to be wanting one thing and not getting there because they don't know what it takes. But if you choose that this is a hobby for you, that's awesome. What a great hobby. Fitness and sharing it with others and helping people. That's a great hobby. Just make sure that that's what you're choosing. That is an informed choice. So let's talk about, what does a hobby coach look like? So hobby coach, these are their actions. They use the products. They do the workouts. They love Shakeology. They drink Shakeology. They might post about their workouts randomly here and there, post some blogs or some videos, but there will not be a real call to action, or it will be a weak one. They're always sort of asking their upline for help because it's not their business to know stuff. They like to be socially involved, and being a hobby coach is mostly about you and your journey. And there is nothing wrong with that. I have learned over the years that doing things for me is healthy, is good. And, as long as it doesn't overarch into this like completely self-conceited, selfish thing, like to have this little section of your life just for you, to do something that empowers you and that you love, that's totally fine. But that's sort of where the hobby coach is focused, is mostly on themselves, their own journey. And it's sort of a random type of posting that they do to sort of inspire whoever might happen across their page. And this is what a hobby coach can expect from those kinds of actions. They can expect accountability from the community around them. They can expect to lead a happier and healthier life. Being around good people, it makes you a better person. But they can also expect fluctuating and low income. One week you may get a deposit of, $80, and then the next week you may get a deposit of like $10. It's just sort of random. You might not even be aware of what volume is or rank or any of that stuff. And again, that's totally fine. But these actions produce these results. So that's just something you need to keep in mind. So now here's what a career coach looks like. A career coach chooses to remove things off their plates or adjust their schedule to be good at what they're doing. You can't be great at everything. And most of us have pretty busy and full lives. So to add coaching in does require, for some people, more drastic than others, but it does require a readjusting or removing something from your life or from your responsibilities. Being a career coach means you sit down and set goals. So over here where the hobby coach kind of posts things randomly, they may want to hit Success Club that month, but it's not a firm goal that they have that like by the 30th of the month, I will have this many Success Club points. They don't have a goal like that. It's just an abstract. But a career coach sits down and sets goals. And then, so there are goals, and then there are no matter what's, right? So I have a lot of goals. Sometimes I hit them, sometimes I don't. But I have my no matter what's that I always hit, no matter what. That's happening. And a career coach has those. And for each of us, it may look different. Most coaches will tell you Success Club 5 is a no matter what. I personally feel like 3 vital behaviors every single day is my no matter what. And if I hit Success Club, but I didn't do my 3 vital behaviors every single day, I don't count that month as success because I place more weight on my actions than my results. And if I did my 3 vitals every single day for the entire month and I did not hit Success Club that month, I still walk with my shoulders back and say, I did awesome that month because I did my 3 vitals every single day. So that's just me. But having said that, I do hit Success Club every single month. Like that is also a no matter what for me. So career coaches also, they have a system for training new coaches. And if you're a brand new coach, don't let this intimidate you. Don't let this make you feel like you've got to get this up and running, by tomorrow. No, but it is something that you should always be thinking of in the back of your mind. When I was a new coach, I had a notepad, and every time someone said a good idea, I would write it in the notepad, like have a system for training new coaches. And just having it on that notepad made me feel secure that I will get to that. Even if I don't get to it tomorrow, it's on my list. It's on my radar. When I sit down to work and I'm working on special projects, because I have a time where I work on my 3 vitals, and then I have a time where I work on special projects. So if I'm sitting down working on special projects, that might be one that I'm going to chip away at over time, but it's on my radar. It's not just like, oh, if I sign up coaches, I hope they make it. It's something I'm thinking about. Career coaches plan out their day and work every day. Now, I do take Sundays off. I don't work on Sundays. That's just, I need a day of rest. I need a day devoted to my family, and that's fine. But when I say work every day, I mean work every day that you decide you're going to work. So if you say, I'm going to work my business 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever you say, follow through with that and do that every single day. The great thing is it really doesn't take that long, especially if you're just doing your 3 vitals. Now, maybe 2 or 3 days a week, I work on special projects, and those are a few more hours than are my normal time, but normally 1 hour a day. But it's every day. And that's what a career coach does. Because, it's just like a job. Like, my husband doesn't wake up one day and just say, oh, I'm so tired. Like, I don't think I'll go to work today. Like, no, whether you want to or not, he goes to work because he goes to work. And so career coaches see this as the same thing. This is my career. I go to work because I go to work. And career coaches is mostly about others, whereas a hobby coach is very much focused on their own journey, focused on their own results, focused on their own enjoyment of the community, which is all fine and well and good and helpful. Career coaches are others focused. They're outward focused. As they're going through their journey, they're thinking, how can this experience help me to help others, right? Because every lesson you learn is an opportunity for you to share with others and for you to help others. So that's what a career coach does. And here's what a career coach can expect. A career coach can expect growth in their business. A career coach can expect income stability. And a career coach can expect to build a tribe and a community that you are not just a face in the crowd, but you emerge as a leader and you have your own tribe around you. You have a group of women that you love, that you feel connected with, that is your people, So let's dive a little bit deeper into career coach activity, because I think hobby coach activity is pretty easy to understand. It's pretty surfacey, but let's dig into career coach for a minute. So let's talk about training your coaches. And again, if you're a new coach, just jot it down and put it off to the side. I actually would even have here, I have my notebook here. A lot of times I would even jot down coach training at the top and just put it away. But because I wrote it down, it kind of starts worming its way through my brain. And at random times, I might think about a good video that would really be helpful for my coaches. And so I'll open back up to that page and just kind of write make a video on how to take pretty photos or whatever, whatever I think that would be helpful to my coaches. And so because even if it's not your main focus right now because you're just starting off, just by having it in the back of your mind, by having it on a piece of paper somewhere, it's going to be sort of working in the background, and you may get little sparks of ideas. And if you have a place to kind of capture them, then when you're ready to focus on that special project of building a training for your team, you've kind of got some material already because you've been sort of letting it marinate in the back of your mind. But here's what that looks like to train your coaches. Career coaches, they leave a trail. So the illustration I was thinking about is like the ants, right? So ants kind of follow each other in this little line because whoever the leader ant is left a trail that they could follow. They leave like their smell behind them, and that's how the ants follow them. And so as a coach, you've got to leave clues and you've got to leave a trail. And that's where, as inspired as we can be by top coaches and other coaches in the network, when we follow them on their social media, they're not leaving a trail. They're not really opening up the back end of what they're doing every day. They're not sharing. They share that with their team, right? And so we as leaders and career coaches, it's our job to give that trail so that our coaches can follow behind us. What do you do to hit Success Club every month? What do you do to get yourself going when you don't feel like working, but you know you've got to get it done? Do you listen to a certain YouTube video that's really motivational? Do you chat up your success partners and tell them like, hey guys, I really don't feel like working, and let them kind of kick you in the butt? Like, what do you do? Well, you've got to open up your life and share that with your team. You've got to show them your 3 vital behaviors. You've got to make posts in your team page showing them that you're reading personal development, that you just checked off 3 invites for the day. Because even though you're telling them about the 3 vital behaviors, you've got to lead by example and show them that you're actually doing it and how you're doing it and what kind of day you had and how you made it happen anyways. You're leaving a trail that they can follow. Show them your favorite tips and hacks, and maybe you found a really easy way. Maybe you got a great script that month that's really people are responding to. Pass it on to your team. Leave a trail so that they can follow you. A career coach tracks their invites. This is something I was actually just listening to an older national wake-up call from March 14th. So it was just about maybe a month ago. This coach who had hit Success Club, I think like 50 some months consecutively, like since she started, and she was been a coach for over 50 months. She's hit Success Club every single month. And she was talking, though, about a time where she saw this plateau in her business. And it was because she was kind of like inviting, like randomly. She wasn't tracking who she was inviting. And then she would forget about people. And then she would go back through her Facebook messages and like realize that she hadn't followed up or dropped the ball in some conversations, and just how it was scattered. You know, she was hitting Success Club because she was talking to a lot of people, but she wasn't being like systematic about it, and she was missing a lot of opportunities. And so definitely a career coach, you've got to track your invites. And really there's only 2 things you've got to track. Who are you talking to, and where are you talking to them? Because as you get more platforms, is it an Instagram direct message? Is it on your Facebook page? Is it on your Facebook like page? Is it through an email? Is it just a text message from a neighbor? Like, having that organized saves you so much time. So I have been using just recently this program called Trello. Let me pull it up for you guys real quick so that you can just see. This may not be the best way for you, but this is how I'm using it right now, and so hopefully it will be helpful to you. All right, so I have a board here on Trello called Invites, and I just have my April invites here. These are just the invites that I've done in the past 4 days, and actually I have to update it. I've done a few more. So what I do is I click add a card when I have a conversation with someone, and I type their name in. So let's say it's Jane Doe, and in here I will just put Facebook personal page, and let's say I'm just forming right now. I'm just forming and I'm just getting to know her, okay? And then in the labels, I will put whether maybe she's interested in coaching, or I think I want to invite her to coaching, or maybe I just want to invite her to a challenge group. And then I'll also label it Facebook personal, and then eventually I'm going to change the rest of these labels to show Facebook like page. So far this month, I've only invited through my Facebook personal page so far. So that way, what I can do when I'm doing my follow-ups, like let's say, eventually, let's say that I get to the point where I invite her, and she says no. She says no. Life is busy. Check back next month. All right. So I track that. It doesn't take that long, and I just put it in here. And then what I can do then is I'll put May invites, and I'll just drag her over into May. So when May comes, she's part of my list for May, and I can be like, Jane Doe, who was that? Oh yeah, I talked to her on my personal page. She was interested in challenge group, but her life was really busy. Okay, let me look her up. So I'll go to my Facebook page, I'll search in my Facebook personal message thing, and I'll find her, and I'll brush up on our conversation, and, I can invite her the next month. So this is just sort of what I have been using to keep me organized this month. And I really like it. I can put information about what program they're interested in. I could even copy and paste part of my conversation with them if I find that helpful, whatever. So I know some people just prefer paper, and I'm a big paper person as well. But this is just one thing I wanted to show you guys if you were looking for a way to track your conversations. All right, a career coach sets up an office space. It's fun to work in your PJs, in your bed, or on your couch, and some things are conducive for that. But for me, I know that when it's time to get my invites done, track my business, work on spreadsheets, stuff that's a little more brain power, a little more focus required. I've got to sit at a table, at a desk. I've got to have my computer open, and I have a notebook usually on the side, and my phone. I've got a whole little setup, and that just keeps me focused. A career coach. Now, this is something that was in the training. It's kind of, you don't have to do this, but I thought it was a cool idea. A career coach writes down what they did instead of working. And I actually did this for a few weeks where, in the morning, let's say I slept in. So that day, I'll just kind of open up my journal for that day and say, and I'll write sleep. I slept instead of working. Or, watched whatever, The Voice, or, stuff like that. And not that it's bad if you're exhausted to take a nap, please. I'm pregnant and I've been taking naps for the past 3 or 4 days. But there are those times when I know I could have pushed harder, when I know I did not need to watch that stupid movie. It really, I fell asleep halfway through it, and just seeing on a list, I'm choosing sleep instead of building my dreams. I'm choosing to watch this stupid show or movie that's just ridiculous instead of building my business and a future for my family. It just puts things into perspective, and maybe it would be helpful for you, maybe not. But for me, it was to just kind of wake me up a little bit and be half an hour. What's half an hour of sleep? Let me just wake up a little earlier and build something that's going to be amazing for us. A career coach knows their story and shares their story. And this is probably one of the biggest differentiations between a hobby coach and a real coach. And remember how I talked about a hobby coach sharing randomly, sharing sporadically, mostly sharing about probably the program, not their own story. A career coach, and guys, sometimes it does take a little while to figure out your story. Sometimes your story evolves, and what used to be your story doesn't feel like your story anymore because it's changed. That's fine, but you should be working and fighting to know what your story is and to be able to communicate it well. Communication is hard, guys. lately I have been struggling to communicate certain things that are on my heart. And I've been writing a few posts and then I'll read it back and I'm like, that's really not exactly what I want to say. How do I say it? It is work. Sometimes it takes a little time to sit down and to piece together everything and then to share it in a way that's not like all over the place, that it hits home. But that's part of our work as coaches, is to know your story and to share your story. Career coaches have a central location for documents. Again, I use Trello for this. This is just a time saver thing. So I have a board called Texts and Links. And in this board, I have links to all of my challenge packs with my coach ID already in them. So I don't have to look for it. I have links for all my Shakeology stuff, including all of the boosts. I set it up once and I'm done. Somebody needs something, I can find it and copy and paste it and I'm done. I have links for my I have text for my 5-day coach sneak peek, including all of my images. So when I'm running a 5-day coach sneak peek, I open up the group and I've already written this out. I've already done the work. I just duplicate it. I have text for all of my 21-day fix group and I just copy and paste it. So I have scripts for signing up a coach, scripts for switching to me as your coach, scripts for inviting new leads. I can't talk that fast. All sorts of stuff to save me time. I have hashtags for Instagram. Sometimes I don't want to type out all these hashtags every time I post to Instagram, but hashtags are how people find you. So I just copy and paste them, and it saves me a lot of time. So have your documents, and this is just sort of text, but even other documents, like have it all in one central place. One of my friends, she uses Google Docs. I've been really loving Trello, so that's what I've been using. But a Dropbox maybe, whatever it is, just get things a little bit organized. And I know it can be overwhelming, but start small and start bringing things, just kind of gathering them into one central location. And then you're able to just work more efficiently. And the big thing is you're able to pass that on to your coaches so they don't have to recreate the wheel. If you've got all your documents in one central location, you can just take the bundle and be like, here you go. Here's how you do this. And it's going to help them tremendously. And then a career coach has monthly challenge groups. Guys, I cannot tell you how many women reach out to me saying, I have the 21-day fix. I tried to do it and I couldn't. And I'll ask them, well, and they're asking, can I join your group? And I say, well, how did you get the 21-day fix? Are you working with a coach currently? Yes, I bought it from a coach. She doesn't run challenge groups anymore. Or she ran one and then she stopped. Guys, a career coach, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. That is eroding your trust with your audience. If you don't have enough challengers to run a whole group yourself, team up with another coach. Put them in my group. But you better be there for your challengers every month. You better do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to support them, you've got to support them. And that's just integrity. And that's just what I want our team to be known for, is that we follow through. And if there's a month that's tough, that you go through. One of my friends, her mom got diagnosed with cancer. She was going through chemotherapy. It was a tough month. She asked me if we could combine groups. She would still be there, but she wouldn't bear the weight of leading that group. But she made sure her challengers were taken care of by someone. So if you have to stop coaching for some reason, or you have to take a break because of some situation in your family or whatever, which, by the way, I actually barely did anything. She ended up carrying the whole group herself even still. And there are coaches who themselves have been going through chemo and still ran challenge groups. So, even if hard stuff happens, you can still be there for your team. But if you feel like you can't, find someone who can and make sure your challengers are taken care of. I never want anyone on our team to have a challenger who's like, where did you go? I needed you and you stopped supporting me and I don't know why and I don't know what happened. At least give them an explanation, give them someone else to go to. sorry if I'm being very passionate about this, but I just feel very passionately about being coaches with integrity and caring for those who have trusted you with this very personal journey of fitness and health. So Career Coach has monthly challenge groups. A career coach has a system for recognizing their coaches. And what is rewarded is repeated. So if you want to see more of something in your team, find a way to reward it. And guys, don't think this has to be like a bunch of expensive gifts or anything like that. Just a shout out on Facebook can make someone's day, like literally make someone's day. Just a quick text message or a message on Facebook saying, oh my gosh, that was a great post. I'm so proud of you, can make someone's day. So it doesn't have to be something big, but I try to reward really amazing posts. When someone completes their coach basics, when they get their first Success Club points, when they hit Success Club, when they rank advance, whether it's making a graphic, whether it's just shooting them a little love or posting something on Facebook about how great they're doing, even in your challenge group, having a challenger of the week, recognition is so unbelievably empowering that it actually has become the fourth vital behavior, if you guys didn't know. There are 4 now. Recognition is the 4th one. And then a career coach, and if you haven't noticed, everything that I've been talking about has kind of been ramping up from beginner coaches up to, higher leadership. And this last slide is for those who are wanting to go into higher leadership, diamond, star, diamond rank. So career coaches, they identify and empower leaders. So as you begin to grow your team, as you begin to attract other coaches under you, you want to keep your eye. Who's showing potential? Who's showing leadership potential? And really focus time on empowering them. And then up your own game so that you can pave the way for leaders under you. If you began as a newbie coach and you didn't know much about team bonus cycle or emerald or how to get to diamond, that's fine. But as you move up, always be learning about sort of the next rank, the next set of responsibilities, the next sort of like, okay, now I'm emerald. Well, how do I get to diamond? Let me learn about that. You want to continually be challenging yourself with new goals and don't get comfortable in your rank or where you're at, because then your team will only grow as high as you grow. So you're stifling them if you don't push yourself to continue to grow. Host team calls. As you get a team, think about hosting your own team calls. If you don't have topics, which seems to be what most people struggle with, is what do I talk about? Do more personal development and get topics and get content to share with your team. Most personal development books that I've done, I felt like I could have done a team call on each chapter individually because there's so much good content in these personal development books. But just challenge yourself to continue being a learner, and you will have no end of topics to share with your team, or ask them what they're struggling with, or get a guest speaker, a success partner of yours, a coach you look up to, and have them talk to your team. But have team calls, as your team grows, that should be something that you take upon yourself. Attend Super Saturdays, live events, summit, seek out training videos. You're the mama bird now. You need to bring information and training back to your team. It's no longer you sitting there, receiving from me or from your upline. Like, yes, continue to do that. But now you've got to take a little bit of initiative and seek out more information, seek out new trainings, seek out new ways of explaining things and graphics that might help your visual learners. And, there's always, you've got to be aggressively getting information to bring back to your babies, to your baby coaches, and to help them flourish. So that is our call for tonight. I hope that was helpful for you to kind of see what kind of activities lead you to full-time career and what kind of activities will keep you in sort of a hobby space. And I know when I first heard this information, I first heard this training, I was so encouraged because it helped me to see I am on the right track. I am posting 3 to 5 times a day. I do have a strategy for what I'm posting. I am running consistent challenge groups every month. Like everything that they were saying a career coach does, I was doing it. And there were a few things that I could have done better, like tracking my invites, tracking my business. You know, you're always going to find areas where you could do better, but I definitely wasn't a hobby coach. My actions were not there. And that filled me with encouragement and faith that like now it's just about consistency and patience. Put your head down, keep doing what you're doing, and be patient and consistent. And that in and of itself just gave me this faith and this energy to keep going. However, if you do find yourself in that hobby coach, if you realize I don't have strong call to actions at the end of my posts, I'm blogging sporadically and there's no strategy to what I'm doing, or I'm not doing my 3 vitals. I don't invite 3 people every day. Like I don't have non-negotiables. I don't have set goals for myself. If any of those things are applying to you, but you want to be a career coach, then it's time to do a little bit of work, maybe go to that very first point and look at what do I need to remove from my life? Is it an extra half hour of sleep? Is it watching TV shows at night? Is it whatever it is. And again, it doesn't have to be drastic because your power hour, you can get it done in an hour, but it has to be focused and you've got to set goals and you've got to be brave enough to set a goal and to hold yourself to that goal. Because if you do, then you'll be on that track of a career coach and you won't be frustrated thinking, I want to be a career coach, but your actions are keeping you in that hobby loop and you're wondering why you can't get out of it. Well, just adjust your actions and you will fly. You will fly to that career coach that you're wanting to achieve. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm gonna stop the